A game can provide a remarkable emerging journey, even at a distance. It has for Cooper Kupp. The Rams' playmaking receiver is shaped by bloodlines from Yakima, Washington's first family of football, 3 NFL generations worth, while setting multiple college career records from Eastern Washington, before making an immediate NFL impact in Los Angeles.
So Coop, your offensive awareness has almost made you a quarterback whisperer, chemistry with your quarterback. What's most important to you about earning trust?
It's huge. Us to ask the quarterback to sit back there in the pocket, knowing that there's guys bearing down on him, and him just being able to trust that we're going to be at the right spot at the right time, I think is everything in terms of that relationship. And if we're not doing that, that's when things got to go off schedule. Now you're asking our quarterback to have to make a play because we're off as receivers.
Football's a game about game speed. How do you prepare yourself to what that requires?
Yeah, well, I think it's just practice. Our approach to practice, I think, is paramount. We always say that practice preparation equals game reality. Exactly what we want it to be in terms of our tempo and our focus going into that, and just being able to execute. When we get to the game, we step on the field on Sunday, we've already performed this over and over again during practice. So much about football is preparation. You go out there on Sunday with a quieted mind, be able to just play the game that you've prepared all week for.
Does the tempo and rhythm of football heighten your awareness just translating into life? You're a dad now, you've got no choice probably by that, right?
It's interesting because I feel like, sometimes if you come into work and you gotta be laser focused all the way through, and that in another way, it's nice to be able to go home and feel like, oh, well, I don't have to be like that right now. But yeah, we do have a 1-year-old now, so I get the 24/7 training experience.
Looking back now, storied, record-setting career at Eastern Washington, how did that prepare you for the NFL?
Going to Eastern, I had coaches that came around me that never let me become complacent with anything. Yes, this is good, but this is how you can be better. He's just calling me to something greater than I'm seeing for myself. Look at how much better you can be if you can fix these things and get in there and say, well, this was good, how can I be better?
Your family, the Kupps are now just the 5th to have 3 generations drafted in the NFL, playing the game. Your dad as a former quarterback, your granddad as a former lineman. What kind of support did that give you?
It's been incredible to have such experience to lean on, and just perspective. I think how much they love their family, how much they took care of things, how they treated people. I'm now being able to live out my dream, but I have such bigger things happening in my life that are beyond football. As much as I absolutely love football and know I'm going to put everything I have into it, that I've got a family at home, and my faith in Christ as well, that just is more important to make sure that's healthy. That's something that my dad and grandpa showed me.
You're back from the ACL tear.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn about yourself you never would have seen by the waiting, the wondering, and the rehabbing?
That's a good question. There's a lot of lessons I think I learned through this, but I think if I pinpoint it down, it's that I can't do this by myself. The first thing that comes to mind is just the spiritual battle that goes on when something like this happens. Just reactively is why. What caused this to happen? I needed God. I needed to trust in what my faith was. Just having my wife and son to be able to push me through this. The teammates, the coaching staff, the training staff, strength staff. I just had a team around me that encouraged me, really showed me how important it was to have the people around me that God's really placed in my life, seeing how much of a blessing that is.
Faith is a huge part of that. Our faith is that, that we're not number one. We're not the number one focus of our lives, and it's others, and it's Christ first, and then it's others, starting with the closest people to you.
I know he knows there's purpose in everything, and he'll look back and know that he's grown from it, and he's a stronger person, and hopefully he can help someone else down the road that goes through the same thing.
All right, hey, it's a great Rams win today. It's a great day for the Rams, great day for Kupp.
You are referred to as a playmaker, altering a game, impacting a game. Off the field, you ever consider Jesus Christ being a playmaker in lives?
He might just be the greatest playmaker that's ever lived. Restoration, redemption, sacrifice, what he laid on the line to change the world forever. You can't find a better playmaker than Jesus Christ.
Coop, who is he to you?
I don't think there's words to really, at the very basic levels of my life, as a husband, as a father, a football player, knowing how much of a failure I am at these things. If it wasn't for my faith, if it wasn't for knowing that Christ has told me who I am in his eyes, and know that no matter how far short I fall on all these things, that he's bridged every gap and that he's called me to even greater things.